Welcome to another episode of Chris and Jen in the Morn.
Where it's always morning somewhere.
I'm Chris.
And I'm still Jen. We're excited to have you here.
I'm super excited for today's topic because it's something that I think you and I have both spent a lot of time enjoying this topic, but also something that we've experienced together in many different places. So today we are actually going to be talking about Broadway and our love of the shows that we've seen, the places we've been, but in the spirit of Broadway, there are a lot of things that people have readily accessible to them in their cities, towns, areas that they live in. They don't always experience, make time for, go and do. So we kind of want to get started with this topic and this idea of living like a tourist. So Jen, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So I think, one of the things that we have talked about as we've moved from city to city is we try and cram in all of the things that we haven't done in that city before we leave when we're getting ready to move, just kind of as a way to say goodbye. And every single time we say, okay, next time, like when we get to our new destination, we're actually going to explore the destination as if we were a tourist instead of living here for years and then, like, as soon as we're leaving, discovering all of these great things to do or places to see. And I can say that we don't always do a great job of it, but I think it's a concept that, we could all benefit from embracing, is sort of living like a tourist. And, I'm not talking about like all the tourist trap type stuff, but like just being a little more exploratory in the city and going out and enjoying the things that wherever you're living has to offer, all those little hidden gems. Because I think most of us get really kind of stuck in our routine. I know we're like the area that we live in has grown tremendously since we moved here 10 years ago. And there are a whole plethora of, restaurant options and things to do. And yet we always look at each other like, there's like nothing, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. And we know that's not true. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, is just like sort of a challenge for all of you, our listeners. And I'd love to source ideas based on the city you live in. What are the things, if you were to like live like a tourist, if you were to bring in family or friends into town that have never been to your city before and like show them the best of the city or take them to the best places? I think this is part of why I love going to New York. I mean, I've talked before about how much I love New York. I really do love the city. But I also love that every time we go, we just explore something that we love to do, that we've done before, but we also explore something new that we've never done or seen. And there is so much of the city that every time you go, you can do something different and new.
Right.
But it's like an adventure. And there's so much adventure here in my own hometown that we've left undiscovered. So, some of the things that we have here in the DFW area that I think get often overlooked. You've got the Arts District in Dallas, and there are some amazing museums. When we lived in Kansas City, we loved to go to the Nelson. The Nelson is still by far one of my favorite art museums of all time. It is an incredible museum. It's got incredible pieces in it, and it's huge, and it's amazing. But Dallas has like a number of museums, all kind of, I mean, there are many spread out all over, but all kind of right there in this arts district. And they always have new and interesting installations. So something that, I think we should check out more often. And there's always something fun going on in there. Um, there's, of course, you live in DFW, there's the stockyards, right? That gets kind of a little kitschy sometimes, but like the rodeo is here and that can be kind of fun to
Yeah.
go participate in.
My brother and sister-in-law actually got married in the stockyards. That's
No
where they had their
way.
wedding. Yes, and in fact, whenever they were looking at the venue, the person was reminding us, like, don't forget when selecting your time, like they still do the running of the stock like through the streets. So they were like, just be mindful of that, so your guests can get to parking and all of the stuff because they shut down the street as they move the cattle. So it is like if Fort Worth is a true like cowboy has parts that can truly be a cowboy experience.
Yeah, it's there's like a lot of really cool stuff around. What else? Because you grew up in DFW. What are some
Yeah,
of those like hidden gems? You did not take me on a whirlwind trip of DFW.
I did not know.
Although you did take me in New York. If you were to take me on a whirlwind trip of DFW to show me all the hot spots, what would you
Um,
show me?
I think like this is the very topic we're discussing is definitely a trap that I fell into while living there. So I didn't find myself really getting out and exploring more of the DFW area until I started making friends with people who lived in like truly different parts of town. So people who lived deeper into Dallas, people who lived deeper into Fort Worth, and so people like bring you into their areas to experience and go to restaurants and try things out. So like I remember the Dallas going to the Dallas Zoo. I remember going to the Fort Worth Zoo. There's also a Renaissance fair like somewhere
Yeah, in
in
Midlothian, I think.
yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but it's still within the area. Like you would plan a day
Yeah.
trip. And so, one of my close friends, it was her birthday. So we went out there and, celebrated there. Um, I didn't really start going to the Dallas places until I was probably like in my early 20s. Got to see more of like, um, the arts area and started, because friends got tickets through work or through whatever. And so that was how I started getting to go to those places just because it's like it always seems so far away from where I lived. Which is
Well,
just
Dallas DFW is like really spread out. It is
yeah,
like a day trip to make it in the Metroplex
yeah.
across. But I do think one of the things I want to do a better job of is because it is so huge, there is so much to explore, and we just find ourselves sort of in the rut of back at our same, six things that we
Yeah.
do here around town. And so, we've got to start exploring a little more. Um, so what about New York? What are some of the things that you have done, or that you push yourself to do to kind of live like a tourist in New York? Or is it just when
Um,
I come and visit and make you go do all the things?
I will say, pretty much stick away from like the big things that like a lot of tourists go to just because you don't like want to be in all of those people and um trying to navigate that as you're trying to get to work or run there and something like that. But like I always take people on the Staten Island ferry. I think that's always a great way to see the Statue of Liberty for no cost. Um, I love Central Park. I think most people are familiar with the more southern part of Central Park because it's like the easiest access um, to the like midtown main part of the city where a lot of people go. But there are truly beautiful places on the more northern side of the park that I highly recommend people check out. Um, but yeah, like
Oh,
for
love
me,
Roosevelt Island. We went to
Roosevelt
Roosevelt Island
Island,
last time. We took the tram over, and that was like such a surprisingly peaceful little walk.
yeah.
Beautiful.
But that to me wouldn't be, I don't consider that like um, I feel like you kind of have to live here to know about that. Like, yeah, the
I
tram
mean,
part is like the more touristy thing, but
I'm the one that suggested it, and I don't live there.
yeah, but it's not like there was like when you asked me about it, yes, we could absolutely go do, but there's not really anything to go do there. Like there
No,
are
it's
restaurants,
like a
there's
beautiful walk in a
yeah,
park in the middle of the craziness of the city, and you can see, like, my love of architecture, the skyline of the city. Like, I just think if I lived in New York City, that is something I would do frequently. But I would have to push myself to do it because,
yeah.
it's like it's not like the most convenient thing, whatever, but it's beautiful. Like,
Yeah, there's a
enjoy the
great
city
park.
around you.
Yeah, there's a great park out there that they've done a really great job putting together. It looks really great. The Franklin D. Roosevelt or Freedom State Park is just really cool out there. I remember when we usually, when you're here, we either take subways or Ubers, but we took the tram. And for some reason, you had a hard time regulating whenever we got onto the island. You were like, "Oh, is that Midtown over there?" I'm like, "Nope, still
Oh yeah,
Queens,
yeah.
still Queens."
Orienting myself. Yeah. Well, yeah. Space and time are always a mystery to me. Yes, I never know what direction is which and what are we looking at. It was the first time we had taken, I don't know what it's called. It was like, was it the ferry?
Oh yeah, the Staten Island Ferry. Or no, it's not Staten
No, no,
Island
no,
Ferry.
no.
The New York City Ferry. Yeah.
The like taxi boats.
Yep. Mhm.
We took those. That was so fun. Like,
Yeah.
what a way to see the city. And I remember saying, like, dude, I would just go for a ride and see the city.
It is. It's a fun way to see it. Like I always encourage people, like obviously like take the subway because it's the like one of the fastest ways to get around. But we have buses that are great ways to see the city. One of my first times when I came to the city, we took a bus and it was really cool we took a city bus and it was just awesome to kind of see it by way of the locals. The ferry has been a more recent, at least on our side of
Yeah.
the island that we've been able to take. And it's been, especially when it's a nice day outside, like it's packed.
It was just beautiful. Wind in your face. Got to see the city from a different perspective, all the beautiful buildings. We got
And
to
you got to see
argue
Brooklyn,
over. We,
got to see a different part of Brooklyn.
yeah, we went. Are you teasing? Like, I was like, is that Brooklyn or is that Queens or is
No,
that...
no, no, it really was Brooklyn. We took the ferry because you guys had wanted to go check out the distillery that was over there.
Yes, we went to go see the distillery, and that was a really cute little spot, by the way. Just super adorable.
Yeah.
Note to self, take food.
Or a bag because Trader Joe's is like right there and you can bring food. But yeah, snackage is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. So, we would love to hear what are the things in your metro area that if you were to sort of live like a tourist, not the touristy, over touristy hotspots, but if you were to live like a tourist and like really go adventure the city and see what's there, what should people do who live in that city to get to really enjoy it and explore?
And we're going to start a list so when we go to those places, we too can go check them out.
Yeah. And also, if you have any hot tips for DFW or New York City, definitely share those because we're pushing ourselves to
Right.
live a little more adventurously.
So I do
Um,
have a place that I want to check out that a friend showed me. It's a kind of like a speakeasy bar type place that is actually you go down some subway stairs, like you're walking down into the subway, and it's like there off of the side. So it's apparently very popular. You have to make a reservation. So it's like
I
I
do
want to come
love a
back
good
here and check it out.
speakeasy. I love a good speakeasy. There are some great speakeasies here in the DFW area.
Love it.
Super cool. Um, So, speaking of living like a tourist, one of the things that we absolutely love to do in New York City, and this is probably why I'm not allowed to live in the city, because if I did, we'd be totally broke. We love to go see every Broadway show there is to see. And I have seen a number of them multiple times, and they just don't get old. I know that some people, especially people that like live in the city, are like, oh, this one was not so good. This one was not so good. And I'm just like, I've thoroughly enjoyed every experience.
Yeah,
Even
it's an
even
entertainment
that
factor.
one that we went to see that that we rag on all
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I still
There are,
enjoyed it.
yeah.
We'll get into that.
I mean, that's part of the experience, right? Like when you want to go be part of something, you don't know what you're going to experience. You don't know if it, so you just like enjoy it. Go for the fact that you're trying something different. You're I don't know, like just embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, theater was definitely in my background growing up, not professionally, but something that you know, I did a lot of growing up, and um I really enjoyed it. I although me being on stage is like really nerve-wracking, but
Really.
I it really is. I know it's a little perplexing that I would struggle with like having all the eyes on me, but I really do because I just feel uncomfortable and awkward all of the time. And that translates.
From
You know, it's
photography
storytelling.
to live stage as well.
Yeah. But it's storytelling. There's just something magical about the theater and, you know, telling a story that's like really moving or brings a lot of joy. I think it's very enriching for life in general.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love going to see shows with you. It is one of my favorite things to do. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of shows together. These are not all shows that we've seen together, but I pulled out my playbill books and pulled a lot out to take pictures to show. So I'm showing now on the screen a lot, like probably 30 to 40, but they are simple. This is just like a small package of the whole thing. And just as like I
Yeah.
was going through them, like just different memories that are popping in, who I went and saw these with. You talk about the storytelling, like some of it is about the storytelling, some of it's about the set, some of it's about the music or the purpose of the show. It's all been thoroughly enjoyable and something that we have also really come to like enjoy and have made part of our experience when you all are here visiting us.
Oh yeah,
So
every time we're in this city, we have to go to like 3 or 4 shows at least.
yeah, so we went through our photos and found so many photos of us at shows because it's something that we like take pictures of and memorialize. So it's fun to get to see some of these photos. I know that though there's one on that I have up right now that's us at Paramore, the top right corner. We actually won those through a ticket lottery. It was my first ticket lottery win and only. So it was a good
That
show.
was
It was
so
fun.
fun though. It was that so Paramore was a Cirque du Soleil show, a Cirque du Soleil Broadway show. And like the mixture of the storytelling that happens on Broadway with the like acrobatics and like gravity defying tricks that happen with Cirque du Soleil, I thought was like really entertaining and unique,
Yeah.
like just something I had not seen before. And I had no idea what to expect, but I was absolutely delighted. I mean, it
Yeah.
was really fun.
I think we had even talked about it. Like, I wonder what this is going to be. Is it just going to be like them, like doing a search show? But then there was like a storyline, a well developed plot, like the whole thing. It was really, really fun with this Cirque uh, accoutrements added to it.
Yeah. And sometimes we have a plan of what we want to go see. And sometimes we are just like, okay, we have nothing planned for this evening, no shows planned for this evening. So let's go see what's available
Yeah.
and hit up the same day ticket booth and see what's there. And I think one of my favorite shows that we did that for was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, I have
Which
that on my list as well.
I did not expect to be as amazing as it was. But first of all, the kid that played Charlie, I mean, I can't remember who it was that was playing it when we saw it. He was incredible. It blew me away. I mean, just the level of talent that this kid had was insane. But
Yeah.
the story was just, it's like you think, okay, well, this is a story that everybody knows, that we've seen a million times, and how's it going to translate to the stage? You know, because you've seen the movie first, and you could do all kinds of things in a movie that you can't do on stage.
Right.
It was so good. I was like, I'm so glad we went and saw this, because
Yes.
I would not have want to miss out on that
Right.
experience.
And I think that was probably one for me that whenever I look back on, it was like, I didn't have that on my list of things to go see, but because we had gone and, the same day ticket booth and were able to get like a good discount on it, we were like, yeah, let's do it. Like we're here for fun. So it did. Like, I just remember we talked about that the entire trip, like how good it was, the sets, the acting, the singing, just all the different aspects about it. It was it's one that stuck with us, and it has continued to stay in our top lists from shows we've gone and seen together.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so great. And one that I was really looking forward to, and I thought, wow, this wasn't what I was expecting, was actually Phantom of the Opera. I had seen it traveling,
Yeah.
um, and then we went and saw it on Broadway, and I have to say, I had high expectations for it. And it was kind of near the end of its Broadway run. And it just felt a little tired to me, like they had been
Okay.
doing it for maybe a little too long. Um, Probably because I did have high expectations, because I was
Yeah.
like, look, I've seen this, you know, traveling, I've seen it, you know, the movie came out, which was great, you know, all these things. So like on Broadway is going to be literally the best experience. And it it maybe wasn't the best you know, version of Phantom of the Opera that I had seen, um but what's great is it's not like I regretted going to see it.
Right.
I still really enjoyed it.
It's a classic. Like, to me, there are
Yeah.
just certain shows that they're here. You should see them. Phantom was one that I would always encourage people to go see. Wicked, of course, is one that I always encourage
Oh,
people to
I
go
see that
see.
almost every time we're in town. I go see that. We didn't
Was that the
last
first
time.
Broadway show that you saw?
It was my very first show on Broadway that I saw. And I fell in love. I fell in love. I mean, who could not? I just tears streaming down my face, you know, as we go into intermission with the Defying Gravity. But um, yeah, no, incredible.
Yeah, the production of it is very amazing, and the casts have seen some wonderful Broadway stars in the main roles. So yeah, it's definitely high on the list. My sister was here a few months ago, and we took her to see it, and I think it was probably one of the best times I've seen it.
You know, what's interesting is like I've seen it so many times and different cast members each time, and I have not been disappointed anytime. Every time I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, just this person made the whole show, and the casting for that show has just been so incredible consistently that like it's it's amazing.
Yeah,
They just managed to tell the story with such emotion that it doesn't get old.
yeah. I will say it's always fun to go see shows after a new member has joined, because I think it's also like that person's interpretation of the character. And so,
Yeah.
how they deliver the lines, what they emphasize, like, may be different from a
Well,
previous.
now you and I did go see a show that had a certain main character's interpretation
Yes. That was not so
that
hot.
maybe sort of took away from the show for us. Do you remember that?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing you're talking about Aladdin.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
am.
look, look, these are people who go out and do this. Like, this is their job. They do it
Oh,
sometimes multiple
yes.
times a day. So I like props to them, but I do remember that one kind of being a little rough. Um, but it was still good. Like we look back on it, we still have a fond
Well,
memory about it.
and I probably had a higher expectation because, first of all, the tickets were insanely expensive because it was one of the Disney shows and it's Disney, right? Like, so you just expect everything to be done to the, perfect level of perfection.
Yeah.
But what's one of your favorite, like, what is your favorite Broadway show? Can you pick a favorite? I can't pick a favorite.
I can't pick a favorite. I think I have like experiences that I have enjoyed from shows. So like when I first moved to New York, there was a play that was considered off Broadway and it was called Straight, the word straight. I remember like that show has stuck with me all these years later because the ending is so abrupt. Like, and they don't, the story doesn't really end. So they kind of leave it up to you of how the
Oh,
story ends. I have never been in a theater where it was an audible gasp when the lights came back up
I
and they
don't
came
like
for
that.
curtain call.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I do remember, I think it was off Broadway. We went to see an off Broadway play. And we took Alex with us. It was An Act of God with
John
Sean
Hayes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Do you
Loved
remember
it.
that?
Yes.
And Alex was, I think, was he in middle school at the time? I think maybe. And oh my gosh, it was so hilarious. It was so good. But I also remember whispering very loudly to each other about how there was nothing that said that it was like not okay for kids
Right. Exactly. There was no
because we were a
rating
little
involved.
embarrassed. Oh my gosh, it was so good though. It was so good.
It's a one man show and like you have to for the entire thing and he did. He did such a good job. It's
Oh my
really
gosh, it
good.
was amazing. I can't believe that was off Broadway because it was just so good. It was so
I
good.
I think one of them that that like I remember back to you and I having a strong reaction during the show was the show Tootsie. It was so good. But you and I had just been like I don't remember what it was that was going on
It
in
was
our
so
lives
good.
at the time, but it was like going through like, well, if I do this, then this is gonna happen. If that happens, then I'm gonna have to do this. And then if I do this, and I just remember like at
And
some point being
she was incredible. She made the whole show. I mean, the whole cast was great, but
yes.
her line delivery, how like quick she had to be and like just what she brought to the character. But yeah, I could 10,000% relate to what she portrayed on stage.
Yes.
It was
So
so
that
good.
so the song that I distinctly remember us like looking at each other and just busting up laughing is called I Know It's Gonna Happen.
I
And
know it's gonna
it's like
happen. Yep.
she is like playing or singing the song, it's speeding up and it's like kind of like her spiral out loud.
She's
And
getting
I
manic. Yes.
yes, and I just remember us looking at each other just laughing because it felt like
You were
we were
like,
in
Jen, this
that.
is you. Do you
This
see
is real.
this character on stage? This is you.
This is art portraying real life.
Yeah,
Um,
it was so good. I recall the one that we went to see, and I'm really glad. I've seen it a few times, but only once on Broadway. I'm really glad we went and caught a matinee of this because it was so poignant that it was like so moving. But we were like, let's go be in the sunshine for a while because like I feel really down. Was Dear Evan Hansen.
yes. Yeah. I remember at the end of that, we were like, I don't think this is what we were expecting.
Yeah,
It was really
I
good.
think
Like, I don't want to like
it
make
was
it sound like it was not
it.
good. It was really good.
It's so good and it's so insanely moving. And I do think it was, again, another situation where art was imitating life, like lined up in the moment for me. Some things that were happening in my life were thematically portrayed on stage. And so that made it, I think, even tougher. But we were like, I definitely cried in that show.
Yeah,
And then
I
we were,
remember us leaving and we were like, we have to go do something fun.
yes. Now I've seen it again, and we went and saw it at Bass Hall here in Fort Worth. I love Bass Hall. By the way, that theater is is such
Gorgeous.
a great theater. And we sat so close, kind of to the side, but so close that you could see the main character's tears drip onto the stage.
Wow.
Um, Try not to cry. Like,
Try
it's
not to
just
cry when they're
impossible.
crying in front of you.
Oh my gosh, it was so moving. While it doesn't leave you with like this, hey, everything feels sunny, it's like just such an experience. And to me, it's so amazing that they can like convey such emotion in that kind of setting. It's like beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I,
And it
I
makes you
think
think.
I think it's really interesting to see what a lot of well, two things. One, I think there's a lot of stories that have like are just being retold or reimagined, and it has been fun to see how some of those have come across on stage and how they've adapted. So the newest Sunset Boulevard is completely stripped down. Like there is little to no prop people. The costuming is like all black, but they've worked in video. So like live camera footage that is happening both on stage, behind stage, across the street. It's like really cool to go and see the experience.
Wow.
However, I heard someone who works in the creative world said that they left at intermission because it just was not, it was not doing it for them, which I can understand. Like it's definitely, you have to use your imagination and the sets that they're talking about and the way they navigate the stage would be as if they truly have a set, but they don't. They're just working, they're moving around it. So it was really good. My second point was Shucked. Shucked is like one of the like original, like the newest original stories has been on Broadway recently.
So
Loved
good.
it. I didn't know that we went and saw that with you and Ace. For some reason, it
You
wasn't
didn't
until I
remember
saw the
that?
picture. I remember seeing
Yeah.
the show, but I didn't remember y'all were with us.
Had no idea what it was about. And I was like, this is a show about corn. I
Yes.
don't why what I remember you saying it was like getting all these rave reviews and I was like, it's a show about corn. So how funny can that be? It was so funny. It was just so good. It was so good. Yeah.
Highly, highly recommended it. If people are questioning if they should see it, like they should see it. I think
One
it's
of the
traveling
ones
now.
Yeah, and it's so good. It's a do not miss, I think. Just so many jokes in there. It was great. One of the ones that I think is a little different than your standard Broadway like sort of setup is Six. And I love Six. I love Six. The way that I describe Six is it's like Hamilton meets a K-pop concert in a Broadway
Okay.
show. Um, so it's one of those that doesn't rely on a ton of set. They wear the same costumes the whole time. So, their costumes are like pretty fun, but it's not like there's like tons of costumery. There's the six lead actresses and then the band up on stage. So it's not like there's a bunch of
No.
to do in the show. But the story is just incredible. The singing is incredible and there's so much energy and it's just so fun. You and Frank took me to that for my birthday. And that was just such an amazing, fun experience. And then the last time we were in town, we got to take Ace to go see it. And I think that is the most I have ever seen him smile in a Broadway show before.
It's such a good show. I always tell people, I like hearing how you describe it. I describe it as like a girl group concert on Broadway. Like,
yeah,
it's
like a
not,
K-pop group, though,
yeah,
I think.
okay. I don't listen to K-pop. Don't come for me.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. But in different ways. Yes. So then I also love the, which, you and I went to, and then, when Ace was here, we also took him was to And Juliet.
And
Like,
Juliet. That's such a fun story.
I
Such a fun
had,
story.
anytime anyone comes, I recommend they go see Angelina. I love
It's
that
so
story.
good.
I love the music. I love the stage. Just everything about that one is truly
Oh, and I mean the woman that plays Anne Hathaway uh is just
so witty.
insane. I mean, insane. There's just so much talent. Like I just am, it's incredible. Um, it's incredible.
Yes. So then those are all like show. Well, before I transition to um the West End, I want to say one of the top shows that like in my mind is one of the best ever I've been to was hosted actually in Dallas. And I went with a friend to see it. Had to have been like a year or two before I moved here. Um, and it was the Rocky Horror Picture Show
I've
that they
never seen
did.
that.
You probably wouldn't like it, if I'm being honest. But I will say I saw it in the round and it was so good. Everyone, there was a standing ovation at the end. Uh, Everything about that show from start to finish, the acting, the singing, the music, the props, the way they use the space, like breathtaking. Like absolutely, it ranks as one of the top in my mind. That is just so good, and I wish I could go and see it again. I've only seen it the one time. If I ever have the opportunity to go see it again, I
You would go
absolutely
see it
would. It was so
again.
good. Yeah. And I just, it was
Um,
happenstance. Like I saw the billboard as I was driving one day. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd love to see that.
You know, one of the shows, so I have been to see a couple of times. I've been to see a show by myself. And while I was there in New York, and one of them was Pretty Woman. And I
Oh, yeah,
know a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people had a lot of things to say about Pretty Woman and that it was like underwhelming and all these things. I just had the loveliest time. Like I thought this is just this, I mean, you don't go in expecting a ton, right? Out of shows sometimes like and then you just get surprised. I thought it was fun. Like yes, it followed the storyline of the movie. Yes, it's not going to have everything that the movie has because it's a Broadway show, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Another one, I think I went to see this one by myself was Hadestown.
Yeah. Yep. You were
Um,
solo trip that time around.
I was, and it was incredible. I got to see it before. What was his name? Who played Hermes? He was like retiring, and this was one of his last shows, and it was incredible. It was just so good.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to find it.
And he is just a legend on Broadway for very good reason. He was just incredible. The whole cast was really. I did not really know the story um of Hadestown, like the story that it was telling, and it is like a Greek mythology story. I would love to go see it again now that I have familiarized myself with the story because I think I would enjoy it even more. They tell you in the very beginning of the story that it's a tragedy, and yet somehow I was surprised by the ending of the show. I did feel a little unfulfilled at the end because it wasn't like, let's put a bow on everything and make it a happy ending. Though they did tell you that in the beginning.
Yeah, and I think
But
I've talked to other people about Hadestown as well, and it is. I think people have a similar experience. I think the actor you were talking about was Andre DeShields, very
it's
iconic.
Andre DeShields.
We actually got to see him. There was like a re-envisioned version of Cats, and he played one of the lead characters in that. So it was great to see him. Getting to see him in two different productions is great.
He was so good. I've never seen Cats.
I never saw the actual show Cats on Broadway. This was off Broadway, and it was it kind of it took the story of Cats and put it into the idea of the ballroom scene, like the gay community
Yeah,
ballroom. So like drag ballroom. And
that's amazing.
it was really entertaining. We had great seats. Our friend, made it happen. It was so
Okay, two more shows that
cool.
we've
Okay.
seen together that we absolutely have to talk about, but they are not on Broadway. So one, we went to London together.
Yeah.
Chris and Jen travel, and
Chris and Jen
we
abroad.
talk about living like a tourist. We lived that up. We that could definitely be a whole series of stories. But we went to see Kinky Boots and
Yes.
on the West End, which was the absolute perfect thing to see on the West End, based
It
on
was.
like where the actual show is set. But it was I had again no idea what to expect, and it was such an incredible experience. Just iconic.
It was. And I remember us being a little like stressed about where our seats were because we couldn't get a seat in the orchestra. We had to go to the first like mezzanine. And we were like, oh no, we want.
Because
But
I'm
then
very
they,
spoiled in that
yes,
my husband always takes care of getting seats, and he always gets great seats.
yes. But this was very like last minute. Like we knew we were going, but it was like we, didn't buy the tickets, so we were there.
I
Um,
think I was texting him about buying the tickets, and he just was like, "Why are you talking to me about this? I'm not even there."
I'm not there. Um, but I do remember like we were so happy at the end of the show that we had the seats that we did because the setting is so grand that you
Yeah.
could see the entire stage through the entire production. It was that's one show that I saw for the first time um on the West End, and then I actually got to see it here in New York City.
Oh, which was better?
I'm just gonna have to say New York City for the only reason there was a celebrity. The someone from a group that I really like, Pentatonics, was playing the main female rogue, Christine Maldonado, I think
Okay,
was her name.
that's
Um,
pretty incredible.
yeah, so
But
I got to see a
also,
little
it was
icon.
the wrong answer because it was the one that you got to
Oh
see when
yeah,
you
I
were with me.
know. No, I'm.
That's the correct answer. The other show we absolutely have to talk about is Titanic.
Oh my gosh, I think we just laughed through that entire show.
Oh my gosh. I mean, hilarious. Not like your typical Broadway
No.
show by any stretch of the imagination. And it is off Broadway. Kind of like in the basement with some, you know,
We
church
went
chairs
to a
pulled together.
furniture store first
We
to
we
relax.
did, in fact, and we saw some really interesting things in some of those stores.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Didn't take any home, but wanted to. Um, but down in the Flatiron District, there's like that's actually like a really nice, like cool place, I think,
Yeah.
actually. But yeah, we went and saw it, and I would say it was just like there was improv involved in it, which was hilarious. I found out that the woman that is playing Celine Dion, my very good friend, works with somebody who is related to the woman that is
Oh,
playing Celine Dion. So that's I then was at a party
that's your
with
claim
them,
to
and
fame?
yeah, that's my claim to fame. I was like, wow, she was incredible.
She was.
Her impersonation of Celine Dion, hilarious, so good. The improv was hilarious and so good. It was awkwardly hilarious. The entire time, just not what I think about when I think about a Broadway show, and
Oh,
yet
no.
not at all. And yet so entirely entertaining.
It's one of those shows that I think if you went back and saw it several different times, it would likely land very differently because I also think that part of what made it so good was that the actors didn't take themselves so seriously.
No,
Like it was,
no, it's like Broadway meets Whose Line Is It Anyways meets an
yes,
improv class.
yeah,
Like,
it was so good. I actually talked to some coworkers after we had seen it and had recommended it, and recommended the show to them, and they had said like they had talked to their husband about going and seeing the show, and I don't know if I want to go see that. And after I shared with her our experience, she was like, "That's it, I'm buying the tickets now."
Yeah, no, it was really good. You can't go in going, this is like a Broadway show. You have to go in going like, this is like going to see whose line is it anyways, and with a story behind it, and it's so good. It was so good.
So good.
Hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. So I know that doesn't even scratch the surface of
No.
the shows we've seen that we have absolutely loved, but definitely like can't go wrong with seeing a Broadway show for sure. We would
No.
absolutely love to hear from all of you about what your favorite shows are and why.
Yeah, I am one of those people. I love to hear the recommendations. I love to hear people's experience because that helps me prioritize which shows to go see. So please share with us. I know that we threw out a few different terms. Um and so I did a little bit of digging to see like is New York the only place that has Broadway, or like I know that there are shows that travel. You've seen them in Dallas. So when people apparently talk about Broadway, they are talking about the theaters here in New York on Broadway. And usually the theaters have a capacity of 500 or more. And because of that, usually they like have larger budgets, which allow them to get bigger names for the cast, which also means like they get more notoriety. So you do hear more about them. But when shows are traveling, they are still considered Broadway, but they may have like different casts. The sets may be a little different because they have to be broken down and taken from one theater to the next versus
Yeah.
just get to be used over and over again.
Like having it built in as a part of the stage. Yeah.
Exactly. So then the West End is the Broadway of London, which we will, when we go to London again, we will definitely be revisiting the West End. Then Off-Broadway is considered just the smaller theaters that are kind of around the city that they call it a more intimate experience. They are known to be a little bit more innovative and experiential with the shows that they take because it's a smaller crowd, less of a risk, and to see what the reward will be for that show.
And do things move from off-Broadway to on-Broadway?
They can, yeah. Yep. So usually they will use that as like a testing ground sometimes and so if they're we went to the Broadway Museum when y'all were here last time, which was super informative. Did. So cool.
We had to rush through it. Yeah, sad.
But
we have to go back.
You learn
live like a tourist.
Exactly. But you learn. So when my sister was here, I also took her. I've seen this, but I want to go back and see it again because I want to further learn and comprehend. But there's like a long list of shows waiting to be on Broadway. And so a lot of times they will, they like make the decision, do we want to put that money into it being on Broadway proper, or do we want to turn it into like a traveling show, something like that? So, I don't know, it just was very fascinating. So if you're going to visit New York City and you love the theater, I would really recommend checking out the Broadway Museum.
Yeah, I will say, because we were rushed for time, there's so much content in there, and it's like chronological. So where we spent the majority of our time in there, we went together, was in parts that I couldn't as much relate to because I hadn't seen any of those shows because they way predated me. And then I wanted to spend more time in the back half of the museum.
Same. So I make sure you build plenty of time. I would say like hour and a half, 2 hours to get through it because it is really good. It gives you the full experience. So you what it took to create Broadway, the iconic shows and awards, and then it gives you the front of stage, the back of stage. Like it just takes you through the entire experience. So highly recommend going when you have plenty of time to get through it.
Absolutely. And so we can't talk about Broadway without bringing up the not-for-profit Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. And if you've ever been to a Broadway show before, you may have heard about this organization or seen their red buckets while you were exiting the theater. So Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS is called the philanthropic heart of Broadway. Their mission is to help people across the country receive life-saving medications, healthcare, nutritious meals, counseling, and emergency financial assistance. All of this is made possible by donations received. So if you are at a show and you see a red bucket, or if you don't see a red bucket, seek out the red bucket and throw some money in, because you are actually able to help make this happen. To learn more, or if you're not going to see a show anytime soon, to make a donation online, you can check out their website at broadwaycares.org.
That's broadwaycares.org. Yeah, a great organization. The history of it is also very rich in the theater community as well. So it's definitely a great organization to learn about and to give towards. All right, well, this has been another exciting episode. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next time on Chris and Jen in the Morning.
Yeah, make sure to send us those places in your city that you would recommend people check out, and share with us, what's your favorite Broadway show. You can send us an email, you can text or call. All the information is down below in the description. So thanks, and we'll catch you later.